I, like many others in this room, grew up watching Disney movies. My entire childhood is full of memories of talking animals and flying humans, so it isn't much of a surprise when I say that I actually used to believe that some of these were real. There's one prominent memory that stands out in my mind, one that took place way back in kindergarten, maybe first grade at most. I remember sitting down with my siblings in front of me and saying, "Goodbye, Peter Pan's going to take me to Neverland tonight." I kid you not, I sat down with all seriousness and said, "Don't worry, I might not be back by tomorrow." Right then, right there, I believed 110% that this was the night. This was the night I had been waiting for when one of my favorite characters would finally take me to a location that I had been dreaming about for time after time again. It never once occurred to me that this entire universe called Neverland might be purely fictional, just a figment of another's imagination. It just seemed so real and so true to me that I couldn't help but believe in it. It didn't stop there. As soon as Frozen was released in 2013, I immediately got hooked on it, just like any other little girl across the country. And soon enough, I started to question whether or not I was a normal human being. Every now and then, I would look down at the palms of my hands and wonder, what if I have ice powers too? What if they start coming off at school? And do I need my own pair of gloves to keep my secret safe? Not once did I question if any other little kid who had watched Frozen was thinking the same exact thoughts that I was having. And chances are, there are probably a lot. Hi, my name is Donnie Lee, and I'm a sophomore here at Valencia. Just a little bit about myself. I'm a dual program student and a member of many of our school's extracurriculars, including FBLA, Academic Decathlon, and of course, TEDx. I was also an avid believer of magic as a child. Now when I look back to these memories of my past, I feel slightly embarrassed. In fact, I had an inner debate with myself while planning this TED Talk. Like, should I really be exposing myself in this way? After all, it's only natural that I feel a bit self-conscious about the completely unrealistic things that I used to believe in, even if I was a little kid. This thought kept egging me on over and over again, so I decided to do some research. It turns out that most kids from ages 4 to 6 do in fact believe in magic, whether that be in Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, or powers in Disney, such as myself. But eventually, all good things come to an end, and most kids tend to leave their magic phase behind in the years of 6 to 9. Then you either grow up and forget about these memories of your past, or you become like me, feeling amused yet slightly embarrassed, yet for some reason, giving an entire TED Talk off of it. Now, I could have technically stopped there since I did answer my original question, but of course, as a straight-A dual program student, why stop there? What I found out next was what really surprised me, which was that in reality, there are many benefits to believing in magic as a child, many of which still affect us today as young adults and beyond. First off, your childhood belief in magic helps you become a more empowered individual. Going back to my story about believing that I had Elsa's ice powers, I gotta admit, that made me feel pretty dang special, even if it wasn't exactly true. Yes, these are just illusions that we create by ourselves in our minds, but experts say that these helps us build a positive mindset starting from a young age. This leads me directly to my next point, which is that your childhood belief in magic helps you become a happier adult. The idea of magic in general incorporates a sense of wonder into our minds, which overall produces a brighter view on life and a happier personality. And I think we can all agree that we all want to be happier people. Not only does your childhood belief in magic help with happiness, it also helps stir the creative energy inside of us. The seemingly silly and imaginative plots that we were exposed to as children actually help us get past what our rational minds may be limiting us to. Now, I want to get into the real reason for sharing about this topic today. Yes, it's an interesting topic in itself, but I did have a very specific reason. I've mostly been talking about magic till now, so let's focus back onto the real world. It is evident that most high schoolers today are focused mostly, if not solely, on the direct reality that affects them. This, of course, is understandable due to the sheer amount of schoolwork, homework, after-school activities, and sports that we may have, but it also does not leave much time for anything else. Because of this, we tend to shut out the more silly and imaginative sides to our minds, choosing to only focus on what directly affects us. So then, why is it that we continue to return to magic, even though we stop having the time to believe in it as we grow older? Why is it that we continue to pass down these stories that we clearly don't believe in ourselves? This leads me to explain the final benefit to believing in magic as a child. It helps shape who you are as a person today. Everything that you once believed in that you may have been embarrassed to admit is actually built in as part of your personality and character. And because of this, I implore you to accept this. Embrace the childhood magic that made you who you are as a person today. Cherish those childhood beliefs and be proud that they are a part of you. Because after all, everyone needs a little magic in their lives. Thank you.